Yo, dude, what's up?
What's going on, dude? How are you?
I'm good. Now we are live.
We are live.
If anybody doesn't know, this is Anabolic Academy on Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding, brought to you by the greatest supplement line on planet Earth. There you go. That is the best pre-workout I've ever taken.
Me too.
It's called, the name of the company is I Prevail Subs, and you're looking at the owner and operator of I Prevail Subs, the great Jason Arntz.
Hola.
The link is in the description, along with a 10% discount if you use my discount code SNS10, which is also in the description.
That's right.
So before we get started, do you remember the time I told you where, when you're talking to your wife and you have these fun little conversations, like, remember that whole past conversation?
Which one?
And I got into a little trouble. Remember, she said to me, if I give you if you had a whole pass, who would you want to sleep with?
Yeah.
And
this girl from the gym.
No, it was Vanessa across the street. I mean, she picked Vin Diesel, and I thought, I guess I'm just a little bit too rational,
Right.
I mean,
right.
Yeah, I'd love to bet, but so it happened again. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, not that. Another question. So she over the weekend, she was very lovey-dovey and everything, and she said to me, "Do you know I love you very much?" I said, "Well, I love you too. You're my wife." And she goes, "I know." And she goes, "Am I the most important thing to you in your life? Because you are the most important thing to me in my life." And I said,
"How about that?"
I said, "You're probably about number 4."
Wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, first is me,
and not just 4. There's the top 3, and then there's some space, there's some distance, and then you're probably going to coast into 4th, but it's a distant 4th.
I mean, technically, really, it could be 5. She really could be 5. She really just made it by the skin of her teeth. Like, number 1 is me. Okay,
that's horrible. That's horrible.
Without me, this whole thing just collapses. Okay, right?
Right.
So number 1 is me. Number 2 is my job. My job gives us food on the table, shelter, clothes on our back, benefits. Right. Number 3 is the podcast, because this is hopefully going to bring a lot of money in the future. And then when I started thinking about it, I was like, well, I got the dogs. I got my favorite sweatshirt.
Like this wristband I've had since I was 13.
Yeah, there's my mother, but she's got dementia now. So I was like, all right, I guess you're in number 4. You're the 4th spot.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
I mean, you came before the dogs and my favorite sweatshirt.
Yeah. How long have you been married?
It will be 11 years in February.
And how long have you worked for your union?
What?
How long have you had your job?
Oh, let's see. 15 years, something like that.
Oh, so you were at the job first and then you met your wife?
No, I met my wife at the same time we got the job, but then we got married years later.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, enough of goofing around, okay? This is Anabolic Academy. This is where we get serious about bodybuilding.
This is for real. This is where the rubber meets the road.
That's right. So how I got this topic, I wanted to talk about terrible gym advice. I don't know if you follow Mike Van Wyck on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up. I'll show you what he said.
I know who he is.
Yeah, you always said he didn't know what he was talking about. So I'll I'm kidding.
Did I?
No, I'm breaking your balls.
Mike Van Wyck. Was this? I mean,
he's in Canada. He's a big dude, all tatted up. I'll pull it up. So he said this thing. He put this thing on Instagram. I want to know if you. No. He was the guy like a year or 2 ago. He got into a little beef with a small kid in the gym, and he shoved him.
He grabbed the guy by the throat and pushed him.
Yeah. So I'll bring it up. Let me show you what he said, and then I want you to See what I want your opinion on it. Also shared audio. Yes. Okay. Okay. This is it, right? Can you hear it or no? The fuck? Oh,
I can't hear it.
All right. Hold on. Let me go back. Here we go.
Barbells should be left alone by the average
Let's
person.
start over. Here we go.
Barbells in general should only be used by powerlifters for the most part, whether it's barbell bench, barbell squat, deadlift. I think barbells should be left alone by the average person. And we have enough machines and cables. That's why they fucking made them for bodybuilders, so we have tension, because that's what we work off of, right? So you can do all that stuff for fun, for your ego, and be like, I benched 5 plates on shit, but it's gonna get you nowhere, man. It's gonna get you a fucking torn pec like me and a fucking fake shoulder. Whoop-de-doo. I said I benched over 600 pounds in my life. What the fuck's it doing for me now? I can't do it again. So I did it once. I didn't do it again. So it didn't really do much. It didn't like, oh, I hit 600 pounds and this is what my chest looks like since then. That day this happened and it's stuck. Barbell.
So, yeah. What do you think?
I think that's probably one of the stupidest fucking things I ever heard in my life.
Oh, really?
But you weren't kidding when I said he's fucking retarded. So what? Powerlifters don't tear pecs? Like I don't get it. Only bodybuilders tear pecs if they use barbell. Dude, what did people do before they had machines, dude? We had the greatest bodybuilders of all times coming through those generations, and to build stability muscles, right?
Yeah.
You're stabilizing muscles that allow you to hold or sustain a barbell or dumbbell up in the air or over your head, over your chest, or your knees and hips, your abductors and adductors while you're squatting. These are all developed through free weight movements, through barbell and dumbbell movements. There's no stability training on a machine. Training on machines are for people who, they don't want to hurt their lower back. They don't want to work their core. It's kind of an easy, not that you can't get benefits from machines. And I think you should incorporate machines in it also. But dude, you need barbells and dumbbells to build a foundation.
Right.
That foundation of hard-earned muscle, dude. You're not going to get that without lifting barbells and dumbbells, dude. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's basically just saying barbell, but I've always preferred dumbbells because I was never a good presser with barbell. For some reason, I always got a lot more out of dumbbells. But like you said, you go back and you watch Jay Cutler. He always did incline barbell. Even Lee Priest, they always did incline barbell. Arnold, incline barbell.
Lee Haney, Dorian.
Yeah.
Jay, Ronnie. Dude, every Olympia winner for the past God knows how many generations, decades. They're all free weight lifters, like, and if they're not, it'll show in their physique. And what, like he said, you're just going to get a torn pec. So a power lifter benching 600 pounds is better than a bodybuilder lifting. I mean, a bodybuilder is not going to lift 600 pounds.
Right.
They're going to do 405, 455, maybe even 5 plates, but they're doing them for reps.
Right. Yeah.
They're not maxing out. But dude, to build those stabilizing muscles, which without the strength in your tendons, without the strength in your ligaments, you're more susceptible to tear a muscle. And you'll tear a muscle from doing something that's out of the ordinary, like fucking stretching for something, or some of these guys who, step up on a curb the wrong way. They tear a quad because they have no stability in their patellas, or their quadricep tendons. Dude, you need dumbbells and you need barbells, dude, to develop any high level physique. And dude, any type of strength athlete, dude, football players, track and field, these guys, look, I'm not a big CrossFit guy, but these guys are throwing free weights around.
Good point.
What are they going to sit on a fucking machine and do the shit? Like, dude, I don't know if he's looking for clicks or whatever the fuck that is, and there's people that'll follow that because everybody's looking for the easy way out,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, does he mean just bar? I wish I had him on the show one time. I asked him to come back. He said he was busy, whatever. No big deal. I know he's on Always Own Fuad's podcast. I would like to know if he meant just bench, because how you gonna? I mean, you need.
Well, no, he said barbells and dumbbell
all together. Just get rid of barbell altogether.
Should only be used by powerlifters. No other athletes should use. This guy here, James, is saying he can't use a barbell. It screws his shoulders up. I'm assuming he's talking about a bench press here, but look, the bench press is probably the one exercise where you're compromised the most. You know, you could tear a pec, you could tear your labrum, you could even tear a bicep tendon doing a bench press.
Right.
Just because it's such a rough angle. That doesn't mean you should avoid it entirely. You know, just don't fucking put 3-4 plates on it and treat it like it's nothing. You know.
Yeah, there's a difference if it is a difference if you're hurt or if you have an injury or you don't get much out of it. That's different. But
if you attack anything like an asshole, dude, you're gonna get hurt. You know. Yeah. But if you treat every movement, with respect, if you respect everything you do.
Yeah,
dude, you could slowly go into something before you just start fucking ramming shit out.
Right.
This don't feel right. This don't feel right. Let me put it down and do something else. But dude, you have to. There's no more basic exercise than barbell squats, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah,
and I've heard every argument. I don't squat. I don't do this. I stick to machines. I stick to leg press. People, any person who's not a diehard athlete who doesn't love training and love punishing themselves, they're going to try to avoid the squat because it's the hardest exercise to do. It's the most demanding exercise you can do, and people will look for any way out of doing those.
Oh yeah.
But dude, if you squat right, it strengthens your erectors in your lower back. It strengthens your abductors and your adductors, your glute hamstring tie-ins, your hips, your knees, your patella tendons, like all your quadricep tendons. Like you can't avoid these fucking things and expect to be a high level, champion athlete. Like, I don't know what the fuck.
No, I agree. I've always did until recently. I've always did regular barbell squats.
Yeah.
I've always did barbell deadlifts. Only until like the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years when I had surgery on my back that I avoid, barbell squat and barbell deadlift. But until then, they were always a staple in my workout.
Do you ever do dumbbell deadlifts?
Yes, I actually do them.
Those rock, dude. Those fucking rock. Those are a great exercise for your back.
Yeah, I still do them from time to time. Yes, absolutely.
They're better than a barbell because you get to pull and contract.
Yes.
Hit, your upper back area, dude. I used to do them and superset them with bent rows, superset them with T-bar rows,
right?
Superset them with pullovers, dude. Those great exercise. The one thing I would say is deadlifting. I don't really see a benefit from, and I'm not knocking deadlifts, but from a bodybuilder's point of view, I don't see a benefit bringing the bar any more than an inch below your knees. I wouldn't suggest or recommend deadlifts off the floor. I would say like a low rack pull.
Yes,
or if you have it off the floor, just come right below your knees and then start coming back up. Okay.
Why wouldn't you recommend an actual deadlift?
Because it does put a tremendous amount of stress on your spine and your lower back, especially the deeper you're going and if you're doing them from the floor with a lot of weight.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I saw that and I didn't know what to think of it. I know he is a high-level trainer. I know he's been around the bodybuilding fitness industry for a very long time.
Well, who's he training? Who's he training?
Oh, I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but I know he's up in Canada. I know that I don't know if he trains bodybuilder, but I know he does have a personal training, business and whatnot. Okay. I haven't kept tabs on who he's actually training as far as competing. I know he's on one of the biggest bodybuilding channels in the world, Fuad's channel. So I was like, I wonder if there is any credibility to this.
Right. Well,
You
dude,
know?
I'm sure there's a market, filled with people that would love to incorporate his kind of training because it's an easier route.
Right. No, yeah, I get it. I don't know. I was always the oh, that's right. He was Drake's bodyguard. That's right. I forgot about that. Yes, he was Drake's bodyguard. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
I was always under the impression that you stick to the basics and
Right.
then you adjust to what works best for you.
So I just talked about this on a live I just did. Ironically, dude, it's funny we're talking about this right now. But dude, you'll remember this. Like when we started off, and I'm older than you, but there was different levels to training. There was the beginning, routines that you would follow for beginners. Then there was the intermediate training system that you would follow for intermediates, and then you had the advanced. But nowadays, everybody thinks they're advanced. Even people that
They jump right in. Yes.
Nobody wants to be the beginner,
Yeah.
and the reality is the beginner part and the intermediate part of these programs, they're the most crucial because this is what builds your foundation.
Yeah.
This is what builds your constitution. Without a strong foundation, they see these guys doing these exercises. Oh, look at this. And, this top bodybuilder's doing this. Well, dude, they don't realize they're doing that now because
Right.
they've already capped off.
Yeah.
They've already done all the other shit. They've reached that level. They've built the mass. They've packed on the slabs of muscle from the beginner and the intermediate. And there's no shame being in that beginner mode for years, like to stick to squats and curls and rows and benches and overhead presses and chins and dips. Like, dude, this is the shit that fucking packs on muscle.
That's right.
Then you shape it. Then you go to the intermediate and you start doing more, conditional type training. I don't mean conditional from a cardiovascular point of view. I mean like conditioning the muscle where, all right, now I need a little more rear delt and a little more side delt. So we're going to incorporate this. And trying to shape the muscle to perfect your physique. And then you have like, all right, I've packed on all the mass, dude. Now I'm going to do the refinement stuff.
Right.
And that's the stuff. Oh, I could use more cables. I could use more machines.
Yes.
I could do fine tuning. But dude, there is no shame at all in the beginning and intermediate phases, but everybody just thinks they're past it for some reason. It's like,
they put the cart before the horse, and I think there's a lot of blame is the social media influencers. I think these, nobody's telling these young kids the truth. Like, here's what you have to do, and it takes a long time, and
that's not sexy, dude. That doesn't sound
right. No, I see it all the time. I see young kids in the gym all the time. Like they'll be on the leg press. And they'll be on their side doing the one at a time leg press from a side, and they're 19 years old at 160 pounds, and it's like, hey, you're putting the cart before the horse, man. You're really splitting hairs here. You don't have to do that yet,
Yeah, James gets it. James is writing it now. He gets it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That goes out. I was under the same. You articulated it a lot better than I did, but yeah, I was always under the same impression. You always stuck to the basics, and then you built to what worked for you. I never got a lot. For example, I never got a lot out of flat bench press. Right? I never got a lot out. I was never a good presser, and I never got good results. But when I would use dumbbells, I was always able to utilize the movement much better, build a better chest, and pack on the muscle. And the weight came. I was always better with pushing the weight with dumbbells for reps. And it was the same thing. Like I could skull crushes. I was never great. That hurt my elbows more than anything else. And then I changed to dumbbells. I was like, okay, this works much better. You're doing skull crushes with dumbbells. And like you said, deadlifting with dumbbells. I remember I tried that after I had my back injury. And I didn't find any strain or anything. And I'm like, this is fucking great. This works. Yeah. And then there were times like I always had to put more muscle on my shoulders. I never had great cap shoulders, right? So I would try all different routines until I found one that actually worked for me. And it was more of a, high volume for shoulders than anything else that actually put some width on my shoulders.
Are you still training at a Signature?
No.
So where do you train now?
I'm at Gold's in Teterboro.
Oh, good gym. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you this, because you go at night, right?
Yeah.
You often see anybody doing like heavy behind the neck presses or front shoulder presses or military press? You ever see people doing that stuff?
Yeah. Not as much as I used to.
Yeah, dude, you don't see any of that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even see people doing regular barbell curls anymore.
Yeah. No, yes, you're right. Yeah. For
Like,
some reason, straight barbell curls. Yeah. I don't see that at all anymore.
Dude, I saw this kid a couple of weeks ago in my gym, and all due respect, I'm not knocking him, but he was like 165, 170 pounds, 5'10", and he's grabbing the cable machines and he's pulling up the pulleys, and he's doing one-arm cable extensions for trying. Dude, get under a fucking bar and do some skull crushes, do some dips, do some. Dude, I don't see anybody close grip bench pressing
I don't
anymore.
see anybody close grip benching. As a matter of fact, there are so many. When I do close grip bench, people think I'm doing bench. I'm just doing it the wrong way. That's how much the young generation doesn't do close grip bench. But
Just
here's the
standing
thing:
dumbbell curls. I don't see that anymore either. Like, what the fuck?
But here's the thing: like, they'll take dumbbells and do a close grip dumbbell incline.
Yeah, right.
And then think it's like for
target their upper inner pec. Like, dude, get under a fucking bar. Dude, right. I'm not even against doing Smith machine incline presses. You know what I mean? Like,
no, me neither. If I do incline presses, it's on the Smith machine. Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, dumbbell presses, dumbbell incline flies, barbell incline, dude, that's gonna grow your fucking chest.
My biggest pet peeve is and this is the truth. My biggest pet peeve is not so much. I understand a young person comes in, or anybody for that matter, and they don't know. So but nobody knows how to spot anymore.
Right.
No, I never see anybody spotting anymore. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and it's dangerous.
Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that. But dude, yeah, I've seen people spot, and dude, like, it's almost as if they're trying to save the person's life instead of correctly helping them. Like, dude,
yeah,
I remember years ago, like, I had a guy like, dude, just get behind me just in case I don't want to drop it down on I'm doing incline presses. Dude, I'm going for a rep and he's grabbing it and pulling it. Dude, I don't want to do that. Just when I tell you, just give me a lift and don't. What I really hate, one of my pet peeves, is when people spot on the negative.
Oh,
like,
okay.
If you're doing an incline bench, let's just say hypothetically, or you're doing an incline bench and you're stuck here, you come up for the contraction, they give you a little assistance on the way up, and then you're trying to come down with, dude, I don't need a spot on the negative. Let me come down. It's not gonna, I haven't completely given in where it's gonna come and collapse my sternum, so let me come down and let me try to get as far as I can and then give me a little assist. But what people have to realize is you get a lot of benefit out of the negative. You get a ton of benefit out of the negative. So only spot on the concentration, on the contraction part of the exercise. You're gonna get if you have a spotter, let them know. Don't spot me on the way down. Don't spot me on the negative. Just give me assistance. If you've gotten to the point where you need a spot on the way down, then dude, you just can't even stabilize the muscle anymore. You can't stabilize the weight. Put that foot down and drop some weight, then do a few more reps. But do that kind of beyond failure drop set training. Dude, that's going to get you into that red zone to really build that muscle.
I have that's one thing that I do, but it's more of a mental thing. When I ask for a spot, I tell them, keep your hands on the bar, don't move it. Because for some reason it's a mentality thing, or keep your hands on my elbow, but don't press. Yeah, it's a mental thing where it's like, if I see your hands on the bar, I feel your hands on my elbows, I just feel safer.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It's always been that way. And so I tell people, Keep your hands on my elbows. Don't push. Just keep your hands on my elbows. You know, it's a little bit. I know it's a little. I'm splitting hairs, but when I'm talking about nobody knows how to spot, I'm talking about the person behind them is on the phone while they're doing shoulder presses.
Yeah.
You know, there was a couple squatting, and they were using a squat rack, a proper squat rack, and they had a good system, except that the system was backwards. So here's what I mean by that: the female was obviously squatting a lot less than the male. Okay, the female was squatting inside the rack with the safety bars. She may have had like quarters on the side. Okay. The guy was squatting outside the safety rack with no safety bars at all.
Right.
And he was squatting like 300, and she was behind him, spotting him by the bar. And I'm like, if you guys just reverse that, that is very safe. But they just, and it's like such common sense, and it blows me away. Just put her outside and put him inside. Because if she, I mean, I don't understand what the thing is with squatting without the safety bar. Like that baffles me. I don't understand that. Have you seen that?
Were you squatting without it?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I never squatted with a safety bar.
Oh, really? I always squatted with a safety bar.
Never.
Really?
And dude, so let me give you two examples. And one, like you said, with your hands on the elbows. I can actually respect that, because sometimes when you're lifting a heavy enough weight, you're not worried about not completing the reps. Sometimes it's just a matter of, dude, if I'm not stable, God forbid this comes down in an improper way, you're at risk. You're compromising your shoulders. You're compromising your humerus. You know, like that could be a messy disaster. So
right.
You might feel more confident from a psychological point of view. You know, even though they're not even assisting you, they just have your hands on your elbows just in case you need it. Right.
Yeah.
With squatting, I always felt like, dude, if there was a safety bar, I'm subconsciously prepared to fail.
Okay.
So I would get down with the weight, dude. And if there was a couple times in my life that, dude, I failed and I had to throw it off the back of my shoulders.
Right.
It came fucking crashing down, you know?
See, to me, it's the opposite. To me, if I have the safety bars, then I don't have a problem going for that next rep.
See, I go for the next rep regardless.
Yeah.
You know,
whatever works, I guess, right?
Yeah. Look, it doesn't matter. We all, you remember Dom, the bro science guy, Dom, what's his name? He did all those videos. Funny as shit, dude. He's been around for years. Yeah, he's from Jersey originally, but he went out to California, and he does all the bro science stuff.
Okay.
It's a character he puts on. It's a character.
Okay.
Dom Mazzetti, what I think his name is.
I see him. Yeah, maybe.
So he was doing a mock, and he has to say, dude, can you come give me a watch? I'm gonna do a shoulder press. And the guy comes over and he goes to hell. He said, no, don't touch me. He's like, just watch me. Just watch me.
Yeah.
It's like a mock. Hey, dude, watch me. Just watch me do the set.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, that struck a nerve with me. Not a nerve, but I can actually appreciate that, because sometimes when somebody's watching you, you want to do it perfectly.
Okay.
Just watch me. If I move out of line, let me know. If my form is off, let me know.
Right.
You have somebody there just to be an eye, to kind of keep you going in that direction. What's Marcus saying? Yeah, everybody's trying to recreate the wheel, dude. And I think, Marcus, what people do nowadays, like we said before, is people look for the easy way out. And what they don't realize is there's no easy way. I was on the road today in one of my accounts down in South Jersey, and the guy just started doing bodybuilding. And he was asking me, I was like, oh, can I give you a little advice? Because he wants to eventually get his pro card, and he wants to do a national show, and he's about to do his first regional level show. And I said, dude, if you want some advice from me, I said, the best advice I could do is win a local regional show first. Okay. I said, and then after you do that, do a bigger regional national qualifying show. Like the Atlantic States or one of Steve's shows up in You know, I mean, even my Muscle Beach is a great show, but it's a
Yeah.
great starter show, right? And then once you win that, go to a higher level. Everybody, what I see is they go from winning a regional show
Boom.
to going into a pro qualifier.
Yeah, and then they get their ass handed to them.
It's like, dude, you had one fight in a bar, and
Yeah,
you think
yeah,
you're ready. You think you're ready for the UFC. You know what I mean?
so true, man. I have a cousin who came in second in Brooklyn, and he went to the Nationals. And I told him, I was like, "What? You came in second in Brooklyn, and now you're gonna go do the Nat? Why are you doing this? You're gonna waste your money to any course he didn't even play." So I'm like, whatever.
Well, that's the thing is, I think it does more damage. And the thing is, dude, even if you're that 1 in a million guy, right? Like a Kevin Levrone that could win one show and then go get his pro card.
Right.
But even Kevin Levrone did the junior nationals first, you know?
Right.
Even if you're that 1 in a million guy, if you're going to be a pro, you're going to be a pro. The thing is, you want to become a pro when you're ready to compete as a pro, you know?
Right.
So don't be in such a rush where you're afraid to do a second show or a junior level national show first before you go to a national level.
Do they even have the junior nationals or the junior USA anymore?
They do, but dude, I've seen them. I had 2 of my athletes years ago. I had one guy, he won the light heavies, and one guy won the heavyweights. And dude, there was like 30 people in the whole show. I mean, it was right after COVID, you know, but dude,
I don't even know if they have. I have not even heard of a junior USA or junior.
They still have them because I believe there's still qualifiers, like for bikini and like some of the girls, like they could get their pro cards there, which I think is a little ridiculous. You know, like how do you get a pro card at a junior level national show? You know, but
it's called junior.
But my point is, you know, there's stepping stones, you know, and you know, it could be more detrimental to you win a regional show and then you go to a national show and you don't realize, dude, I'm fucking outclassed here. And you might have had the ability to do a national show and do well after a couple of years of training and progression, you know, but some people, they go into it and they get blown away and they're devastated and they hang their hat up, you know, they're done.
Right.
You know, but with something like this, like what people don't realize is that it takes years to develop this. And it's like any other art, you know, it's like learning tennis or MMA or learning to play football or wrestle. Dude, you don't go from junior wrestling to becoming an Olympic champion, you know, like you have to be able to put the time in. I think everybody's in such a rush for elite status that bypass all the basic fundamentals of what you have to do that makes you great. You know, and that's what, you know, the best advice I could give, or what bad advice, you know, or for people who are trying to do these elite level training styles that the best guys in the world are doing, but they don't realize the best guys in the world spent years doing the beginning level stuff and the intermediate level stuff. You know, they didn't do the shit they do now. Once you've built that foundation, now you do the tweaking. You know what I mean? Now you do the other stuff. Once you have that muscle, that's easy to preserve. You're not going to build it doing the tweaking stuff, you know? Right.
No, all great advice, all sound advice. It's the God's honest truth. Well, last question. I mean, we could talk about this for like the next 10 minutes, but when you were on your way up and you were at a national level or even at an NPC level, what was the stupidest piece of advice in the gym you ever heard?
So I came from Diamond Gym, dude. There was really no good advice. You know what I mean? Like this was a place just like we're talking about, you know, where you put in the work.
Yeah.
You know, I heard people get bad advice, not really from where I came from, you know, like, because if you went to Diamond Gym, you were looking to be somebody. So you go to learn from the guys that have been there before you.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
I could say, maybe don't worry about warming up, dude. Go right into it.
I'll tell you mine because it's fucking horrible. And I'll never forget. I had just moved to Staten Island. I was like I think it was like I was 15 years old. I was like right after I moved to Staten Island, and this other guy had just moved from Brooklyn to Staten Island, but he was older than me. He was like in his maybe late 20s or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were at a gym. It was called Atlas Gym, and
I remember that.
yeah, it was at Atlas Gym. It was on Arthur Kill Road. I don't even know if it's still there. It was a powerhouse for a little while.
I think it became Powerhouse after, right?
Yeah, I know. Then that powerhouse closed down, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still there. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But I remember the guy told me that drinking beer was good for bodybuilding because of the yeast in the beer. I swear to God. And
Well,
even then,
there are guys at Diamond that did that, but they were just fucking maniacs. You know?
yeah, but even then, I remember saying to myself at 15, "Wow, that is the worst advice ever." Yeah. Drinking beer is fine because the yeast in the beer helps bodybuilding, and I'm like, wow, that is fucking horrible advice.
Right.
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, I think I don't know. I've been trying not to help as much in the gym. There are times where I see young guys and I try to like help, but then I've been pulling back a lot because I don't want to be a pain in the ass at the same time.
Well, so I could see that, and I've stopped myself a couple times, because the reality is there's people that don't want to be helped.
Yeah.
Right. And there's people that it doesn't matter what I've done. Yeah. And I don't expect any of these kids that I see in the gym.
They're not going to know who you are.
They don't know anything about me or who I am or what I've done. And I don't blame them, dude. I'm a totally different generation, I was into the sport, so I knew everybody before me. I knew what they were doing. I knew how they did it because that's how we learned. Now the learning style is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
They see somebody on TikTok do something and I could have told them, hey, I was in 4 Olympias, dude, listen to me. And they're still going to listen to the 150-pound kid on TikTok.
100%.
So there's people that appreciate help and there's people that they don't want to help. They don't want help whatsoever. They don't want any help. They could do it. They're fine. What they're doing is the best. And they're on the best path to what they're looking for.
It is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Would you be mad if I clipped that part about you calling Mike Van Wyck an idiot and put it on Instagram and then tagged him on it? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm only breaking your chops. I'm not going to do it.
Well, I mean, I don't mind you saying the part where I think it's the dumbest thing I ever heard. That's pretty moronic, dude. I don't know. I've never heard any elite athlete say that before.
No, I mean either. But what's funny is that I'm not at a Jason. I was never at a Jason Arntz level, not even fucking close. So when I see somebody like a Mike Van Wyck say that,
right,
I say to myself, is there some credibility to this? Because this guy is at that level. You know what I mean? Actually, he was never really at your level, but he was. I'm pretty sure he was a pro bodybuilder, and and I was like, well, it's only one way to find out. Let me ask somebody.
and he's a big guy.
Huge.
He knows better. Thank you, Marcus. And he knows better. He knows what he did to get where he was.
Right.
So I think just giving that advice is a little irresponsible, or off-putting. But dude, he's got a big network. He's got a big market.
Yeah.
And he's appealing to them. And to be honest, like, you have to take what everybody says online with a grain of salt. You're not really going to get honest and truthful information. If you listen to this, you get it because we're not selling you anything. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I have a supplement company I'm selling, but I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about training properly and trying to give good advice, and you're trying to promote your channel. I get that, but this is the place you come for that kind of information. Those guys, when they make those outlandish statements, they're looking for clicks, or they're looking for, little, what do they call it? Like little,
likes.
Yeah. Not just likes, but, clips you can do a little video clip with,
yeah. Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck they call them. I don't even know the term. Sound bites. They're looking for little sound.
Gotcha.
it's like bait click,
Yeah.
But dude, to be honest, like Mike Wick isn't an idiot. He
Right.
does know better. But dude, like that's what you get nowadays, and the reality is you could listen to the news, and you have to realize the news you're getting, it's not about being truthful. It's about whoever gets it out there first. It doesn't have to be the truth.
You hit
Just
the nail
get
on
it
the
out
head.
there.
You hit the nail on the head.
Get it out there, we'll fix it later. And they don't even fix it later. It's just
You're right.
everybody wants to be the first to be heard.
Yeah.
And that's what you get nowadays. You get all this stuff, people saying stuff that, oh wow, really, and it's intriguing, and people click and they listen, and so the internet, dude, and all these apps, and TikTok and Instagram, all of them, dude, if you look at it for what it is, and it's really just entertainment.
Yeah.
It's entertainment. You ever see the movie Training Day?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
The newspaper.
So this was before they had, all these internet, all the social networks and this and that. And the beginning scene, he's reading the newspaper, and Ethan Hawke is interrupting him. He's like, listen to me. He goes, I'm reading the paper. He goes, I know 90% of this is bullshit. He goes, but I read it because I want to be entertained. So if you're going to stop me from reading my paper, you fucking entertain me. What do you got?
Yeah, that was a great scene.
But he said it knowing, like, I'm reading the newspaper and 90% of it's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it just reads it to be entertained. So we have to really
You got to realize that. Yes.
And realize it's all just fucking entertainment.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That is the perfect segue to end this fucking Anabolic Academy edition. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jason Arntz, I Prevail Subs. The link is in the description.
Yeah.
Discount code SNS10. Believe me, you will not be disappointed with anything you try from I Prevail Subs supplement line.
Try the Forge Pump, dude. You guys will love the Forge Pump.
Forge Pump is great. Now we have a new fiber so people could take shits. That's what I need.
It'll keep you regular. Yeah.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you later, bro. Thank you.
Later, bro.